Before I get into the bosses, I'll explain some background information just in case some people who have not played this game can try to follow along. To start, this game is called Cuphead. That was made with 1930s animation in mind because everything in the game was handmade. The regular levels of the game are bosses that have different phases that can add new attacks, change their appearance, change their location, and a whole lot more. After the player defeats all the boss phases, they then defeat the boss and get that sweet accomplishment of beating the most difficult level in the world. Achieving S rank is the hardest thing to get when playing against these bosses because the player has to have played the boss level perfectly on the hardest level difficulty expert. For an S rank, the player needs to defeat the boss in under 2 minutes, not get damage, parry 3 objects, and use your super meter 6 times. A parry is when the player bounces off of a pink object that is in every boss level. Finally, a player uses his super meter individually using 1 card or when they have 5 cards. Now that you know the fundamentals of the game, hopefully you can follow along with the rest of the video. For this boss fight, Coffee is the preferred charm since this is an aviary fight and has set weapons and a super. Welcome to one of the hardest bosses in Cuphead, simply because the last phase is ridiculously hard. Only on Expert are you able to take out his antenna before it attacks. When you destroy his first set of protection, alternate versions of attacks show up. Some attacks are more difficult than others to avoid, such as the arms. Take out his stomach and get your super before the third pink object shows up to attack the metal that is covering the heart. After you use his super, parry the object. This will help build your super and save time in the second phase, especially needed since the third phase takes an abnormal amount of time. This phase was pretty difficult until I used the pattern of attacking the antenna first, then stomach, and finally the heart. The second phase of this boss won't take you long, since you only need to shoot the head a couple of times to get your super. Once you get it, use it to avoid wasting time, given that the boss fight needs to be completed in under 2 minutes. Now we get to the worst and longest part of the fight. Dr. Kahl alternates between a blue and red diamond. This gave me the hardest time, but if the abomination that was pixels taught me anything, it is that video games can be best beaten by using patterns. The blue diamond shoots its crystals in a spiral shape. With the blue diamond, I found myself moving left and right a lot more to get in between the small shard spaces. The diamonds can offer parryable shards, which is useful to get you super and end the fight quicker. The red diamond shoots projectiles in the same direction, it's just that the auto-scrolling makes it seem otherwise. Due to this, I was mainly moving up and down to avoid getting hit. Be aware that the barriers block your bullets. When you need to get past one, pay close attention to the barrier and crystals to find an opening when it's created. Utilize your mini-plane whenever you feel necessary to avoid getting hit by the shards.